Why are you soaked?
Because my birthday today, so they grabbed me and dumped me with ice water.
They did something to you.
Yes, they did.
What's the age number?
Oh God, 40.
40.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I think we're supposed to ask if it feels any different.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Looking at film, obviously great performance by the defense. What stood out? What did you like? What did you think about things?
I thought their execution of what we wanted them to do, both in the pre-snap look and the post-snap execution, I thought was really good. I thought it caused confusion for their quarterback, which was big for us because that's the guy that kind of ran the show for them. So I think that was huge.
Do you think how many times did you watch that 4th and 6 play, and where I mean, what did you think of all the things that went into that play?
I mean, there's a lot of things. We could have executed better in our rush, and that never would have gotten to that point. But then we have them hit a couple yards before the first down, and they were able to push them forward. So it is what it is. But there's some things we could have done to not make it so close. But
he was so slippery all game. It felt like you guys could have had 18 sacks. So,
Yeah.
Do you address that? And if so, how? Do you work on tackling more? Or how do you approach that?
Yeah, we got to continue to work on our approach angles to the quarterback, especially guys like him and guys like this week. We work it every Wednesday circuit. But, just understand that these guys are going to move. And it's not going to be like when you got a statue back there where you just run in the stride and through them. You got to be ready. It's an open field tackle, basically. So, just constantly talking about their angles and approach and how they transition their feet.
How are these two guys different in terms of how you would attack them in the pocket?
They're very similar. They're both slippery. They're both athletic enough to get out. And they do a great job of making guys miss and stepping up in the pocket and then getting out of the pocket. So I think they're very similar.
What's one group you thought specifically stood out and played the best on Saturday?
The back end, the DBs. They did a great job. I mean, controlling, all those receivers and weapons that they have, and then, like I said, their ability to hold that shell pre-snap, so the quarterback couldn't read what we were in right away. I think that was huge for our success.
Who graded
Even
high?
though there weren't fans in 2020 at Utah, does it help? How much does it help your defense that a lot of those guys played in that game? Does it help at all?
Yeah, I think anytime you go, because I've been to Utah a number of times, and it's a great environment. Like, it's a lot like going to Seattle or Eugene or when people come here. So it's going to be loud. It's going to be a great environment. So I think you have guys that have experienced all those things on the road. It only helps to help your team when moments of adversity hit. So,
Utah's obviously down one of their top tight ends, but they got size pretty much everywhere on their roster. How important is the DB play going to be and be able to box out some of the thickness?
Yeah, it's always the issue with teams like Utah. They have really good skill at tight end. They got big, long, athletic guys, and so we got to do a great job attacking their hands when the ball's thrown to them. I think that's going to be a big part of it.
With their tight end out, though, is there a bit of an unknown, or do you kind of know what to expect?
No, they've got tight ends for days. I mean, they got more than enough. So yeah, I think they do what they do, and that's why they're so good. They've got a system over a long period of time, and they're going to do what they do, and we got to be able to defend.
You talked about the quarterback being sort of slippery. You guys have had a couple of different quarterbacks now being able to move on the run and things like that. How do you feel like your team so far has handled those scrambling quarterbacks?
They've gotten better. I think we adjusted mid-game to the adjustment we had to make against the kid from Boise, and then I thought they did a good job. I mean, we had him on the run all night, which drastically changes his completion percentage and his ability to step in and make throws. So sometimes, even though you don't sack him and get him down, just that disruption and his ability to throw the ball down the field creates a big problem for the offense. So I thought, even though we want to bring him down a little bit more, but the chaos we caused him in the backfield, I think, helped.
With the performance against USC, did you see anything in your defense that you can carry forward, like, to the rest of the season, that like a ceiling that's maybe higher than you expected?
Well, I think for them it should just be great confidence. I mean, they covered some of the best receivers in the country, and held them in check all night. So I think for them, the confidence of there's no other team that's going to walk in here with skill position players like that in our conference that we're going to play. So I think for their confidence, I think it should be huge for them.
Generally speaking, Utah's offense, like, how would you evaluate it? What makes them so difficult? They've been scoring points.
Yeah. They're big and physical, and they're great in the run game. And so when you can run the ball and then they take They do a great job in their play actions, shots down the field. Those are the two big areas we got to be great is run and then shots down the field off the run action, because that's where they've been great for a long time at doing both those things.
And they like to go to the tight end. Obviously, does it help that you guys feature the tight end across the field?
Yeah.
There, you have a lot of practice against that.
There's a lot of practice going against really good tight ends, and then similar sets and similar actions. So yeah, it's a help for us.
When you look at video from your first year here, and even back to the Riley era, how much do they look exactly like that today? Is it like 90-95% the same stuff?
There's a lot. I mean, there's schemes that have been tweaked over time, but as far as like who they are, their identity, I think that goes with just the continuity they've had over a long period of time at a school like that. I mean, they've recruited to how they play. They've recruited to, what they want to do, and they do it as well as anybody that I've seen as far as continuing to build and knowing exactly who they are and who they want to be over a long period of time. It's impressive.
Sit the back end, sell the who graded out highest? Oh.
I don't.
We've talked a lot about the success they've had with simplifying things so that they can play faster. Is there a temptation after you've had success to start thinking, okay, well, maybe we put this back in or we put that back in to start adding back to the playbook, with the group that's performing this well?
There's always, so we've got our core stuff, and then there's always curveballs every week that are different. And so that allows you to keep the offense guessing and not know exactly what you're doing, and they're compliments off of what you already put on film. So, but as far as the core and identity of who you are, we don't want to change that. But yeah, there's curveballs every week to change up things that they think will be successful against what we do, and then it's the opposite.
Who got you with the bucket?
They all did. I don't know who was holding it, but they were all holding me while someone dunked me.
I'm sure this is safe to say every week, but especially in a game like this, how important is, the pass rush to rely on the coverage and vice versa?
Yeah, I mean, it's team defense, right? The run game has to be supported by the back end, just like in the pass game, it's got to be supported by the rush up front. And so they all go hand in hand.
What are you still looking for from them? I mean, playing so well, as coach, you always want more.
Yeah.
What's the next step, I guess?
I mean, there's always stuff to clean up and then do better. Just getting better. We challenge them every week to be better than we were the last week, and every day be better than you were yesterday. So that's really what we're shooting for and what we're looking for. How can we play better against Utah than we did against USC? That's what we're after.
How important are these challenges at this point in the season? Obviously a ranked team back-to-back weeks. You guys show up one week, and it just shows you, sort of building that confidence for this group.
Yeah, I think just our season, all our 5 games have been really good opponents, really tough opponents, and I think that prepares you for how hard the Pac-12 season is going to be. So I think we're well prepared to go into the conference.
What role did you have in Duncan Coach?
Don't lie. Oh no, I didn't have no role in it. I didn't know that was gonna happen, but it was sweet.
Did you know it was his birthday?
Yeah, I did know his birthday. I think he turned like 68.
62.
Yeah, something like that.
What was the reaction of the team when he got done?
Oh yeah, it was fun. Yeah, we went crazy.
So I guess back to Saturday, overall, how do you think you guys did against managing that offense?
I think we did a hell of a job. I think everything we planned to do happened, but just at the end, our fine details slipped away from us, and it cost us the game. But I think we did great.
How do you feel like you embraced the challenge, stepping up, facing those receivers?
I think people make other people bigger than what they are. I think they bleed how we bleed. So I went out there with the same intent I had against Montana State. Like, it didn't matter who I was going against. I just want to win.
And that atmosphere, how much did that juice you guys up?
Oh yeah, playing in Rejzohn is the best thing ever. Love it.
The win that you guys had last year over Utah was one of the best wins in the season. Does that help? Does that help at all going into this game?
Yeah, I think it helps. I mean, the way we've been playing this year even helps. I mean, we've been playing with our hair on fire, competing every week, competing in practice. So I think last year was nice, but it'll be good to get them this year.
What do you feel like is the next kind of step for this defense? What do you guys still need to do moving forward to get that much better?
Just continue to apply pressure to opponents. Just continue to work on the fine details, getting out of our breaks, reading run, reading passes, all the fundamentals.
And what concerns you most about Utah?
They're reigning Pac-12 champs. It's a good team. They run the ball hard. It's a physical team. I don't think I'm very much concerned. I think we play hard as well. But
They're down one tight end, but they kind of got size all around that roster. What is sort of the best way to defend, their height?
I think we got length in the back end. I think we got some guys. I think we got guys too. So, I think we'll be fine.
How heavily are you guys going to have to, sort of rely on that pressure to sort of help you guys out in coverage in the space?
I don't think we ever rely on it. I think we embrace it. I think if the pressure doesn't get there in time, we make it get there with our coverage, and vice versa. If our coverage lacks and our pressure's up, then we win. So it's a win-win for us.
They lost their tight end for the season. You never like to see that, but at some level that does help you guys. How does that change your approach with them or anything?
I know he was a big part of the offense. It's sad to see a guy like that go down. He was having a hell of a year. He did last year as well and the year before that. So, I think it does change some of the things, but we'll see when we get there.
He says he had no hand in the dousing of Coach. Were you involved in that one?
I can't. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
You don't want to incriminate yourself?
Yeah.
It was probably a fun scene though to see him.
It was. He smiles on the field. It's good. Yeah, he's a great guy and great coach. So it's happy.
When you look at the Utah tape, what jumps out for you at the linebacker spot?
They're a physical group and they're really well coached. So we just got to be on our keys and do our job.
How do you think, as a position group, you guys did on Saturday against USC?
I feel like every game I felt like we had a pretty good, as a group, pretty good game, but I felt we could be a lot better. There's a lot of stuff I could work on myself, and I feel like throughout the season that's what it's meant for, and to progress week by week.
Williams was so slippery. I felt like you guys had so many chances to get him and just slipped away from him. Looking at film, how do you evaluate that? How tough was it to watch that kind of play?
Yeah, those are always hard when you have a chance to get a playmaker like that on the ground. Like I said, we could do a better job. I personally could have done a better job in that area too. So we're going to continue to take the coaching, and that's what the coaching's for. And we're going to get better day by day.
Kind of painful but good timing with Cam coming up this week. You saw a similar kind of runner and sort of thing. I guess it helps prepare you for that at least.
Right. Yeah, we take it week by week. So looking at him, we know he's an athletic quarterback. So we got to continue to do our job and be very fundamentally sound with him.
Is there one thing at all that the coaches are harping on above all else this week as you prepare for Utah, or is it just kind of business as usual?
Just do your job. We take it one game at a time. Just continue. You don't have to do anything more than what you could do. Don't do anything more or less than what you could do. Just go in and handle business with your position.
The win over them last year here at Research, does that give any confidence for this fifth game?
Oh, I feel like we always have confidence in that. Especially me personally. I feel like I have a lot of confidence in this group of guys. And we just got to go in there, take care of business. Like I said, just be on your job. It's another team. They're a great team, but we're also a great team. So we got to go 1-0 each week.
Chance kind of had a tough game last game, obviously. I know he's a little down afterwards. Do you guys make an effort to pick him up? Have you seen him kind of turn his emotions around and refocus?
I have complete trust in Chance. He's a great quarterback. We've seen it in the past. Just like anyone else, you're always going to be there for them. I've made bad plays in mine, and I've had guys rally around me, so I know what he could do, and he's going to be good.
Utah obviously lost one of their tight ends, but they have size sort of all over the roster. As from a linebacking standpoint, at least, obviously you get out in space sometimes and guard them. What's sort of the best way to guard their height?
I feel like we got a lot of height too on our side of the ball. We just continue whatever our job is to do that. There's going to be a different, do our job.